Good morning, everyone. My name is Bobby Gray, and I'm Research Director from Grameen Foundation. I think we'll go ahead and get started. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today to the webinar where we're celebrating the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. This year's theme is Building Forward Together, which really for Grameen Foundation represents the importance we place on partnership for achieving our mission to end global hunger and poverty, especially for women and their children. So today I'm especially excited in celebration of this partnership to be joined with 4 of our partners from Ghana: Rise Ghana, Ghana Developing Communities Association, HealthKeepers Network, and MTN Ghana in our conversation, along with several of my colleagues from Grameen Foundation. Before we begin this presentation, we have enabled the closed captions feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So if you want to follow along with the transcript, you can do that. So at the bottom, you'll see a live transcript button or a CC button. You can use that. And if you can't see that, if you see the 3 dots in the bottom right-hand corner, you should have the option for a live transcript and you can follow there. If at any point during this conversation you do have any questions, we invite you to place those in the Q&A button at the bottom, and we will try to answer as many of those during the Q&A that we have planned later. So as a quick agenda, we're going to provide a little bit of a background about Grameen's community agent model, and then we're going to spend most of our time in a discussion with our partners on a new project we have called We Gain that we'll describe a little bit later. And then we'll have time for questions and answers, and then we'll leave you with a few closing thoughts. So Princey, if you can go ahead and move to the next slide. So as a brief introduction to the community agent model, while technology is really critical enabler for the work that we do at Grameen Foundation, we see community agents at the center of our work because they are the people based in the community that really connect people to the digital economy. Because community agents, and most of them that we recruit are women, are trusted community members. They help people overcome confidence concerns and other barriers they may face, such as mobility to reach critical services. They really enable people's access to digital financial products and services, agricultural extension support, and different types of information, such as COVID-19 tips and other types of information that really are critical to people's lives and livelihoods. So I'd like to pass this over to my colleague, Bindi Jabari, who leads most of our financial services work, so that she can provide a little more of a description of the work that we do with community agents. So Bindi, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Bobby. And to build on Bobby's comments, women and men in last mile communities often lack access to the basic agricultural, social, and banking services that we all depend on to improve our lives and livelihoods. So since 2016, Grameen has been working with local partners, financial service providers, and technology companies to address these challenges by expanding women's digital financial services agent networks across 4 countries in Asia and Africa, with a planned expansion of over 15,000 additional agents in the next 5 years. Through women's agent networks, we're aiming to increase women in last mile communities' access to a host of financial and non-financial services and improve their lives, and at the same time provide income for women agents. So before we start, I want to share with you a quick video from one of our most successful— Sorry? Okay, I'm good. All right, so before we start, I want to share with you a quick video from one of our most successful community agent programs, the Grameen Foundation India Mitra program, to illustrate our model. So when we play this video, as a note, in Hindi, Mitra means friend of the village. So our agents are literally friends of the village.
गावामध्ये महिलांना खूप साऱ्या समस्या होत्या की त्या कशा घरच्या माणसावर अवलंबून राहायच्या. त्यांचा मोबाईलचा जसा रिचार्ज संपला तर ते आपल्या पतीला किंवा मग आपल्या मुलांना म्हणायच्या की दादा माझ्या मोबाईलला रिचार्ज टाक, किंवा आपल्या पतीला म्हणायच्या की माझ्या मोबाईलला रिचार्ज टाका. पण काही कारणामुळे त्यांचे पती विसरले तर ते काही टाकत नव्हते. आणि जेव्हापासून माझी निवड गाव पातळीवर ग्रामीण मित्र म्हणून झाली तेव्हापासून महिलांना खूपच सोयीस्कर झालं की महिला स्वतः पैसे घेऊन यायला लागल्या आणि मोबाईलमध्ये रिचार्ज मारायला लागल्या. कधी कधी असा व्हायचा की लांब दूर त्यांना बँकेमध्ये जायला साधन नाही राहायचा. कधी बस वेळेवर नव्हती येत, कधी गाड्या वेळेवर नव्हत्या येत, कधी घरचे माणसं घरात राहत नव्हते. त्यामुळे त्या महिला जाऊ शकत नव्हत्या आणि वेळेत आपले पैसे काढून येऊ शकत नव्हत्या. पण जेव्हापासून मी ग्रामीण मित्र झाली तर त्या केव्हा पण सकाळ असो, सायंकाळ असो किंवा दुपार असो त्या माझ्याकडे येत असतात आणि आपले सेव्हिंगचे पैसे काढतात किंवा भरतात, किंवा मग आपले इलेक्ट्रिक बिल असो त्या वेळेत येतात. त्यांना जशी वेळ मिळते त्यात माझ्यापर्यंत येतात आणि आपले काम पूर्ण करतात.
Okay, thank you, Princia. And I saw a note that some of us would like us to speak slower for non-English speakers. And I want to note that there is a live transcription button here that you can push. And so if you push the live transcript button at the bottom of the screen, you can see subtitles of everything that we say. So that might help a little bit. Okay, great. So now let's turn to how our agent model relates to the New Wage Ghana program. To start with, we know that women in Northern Ghana face multiple financial, business skills, health, and gender-based violence challenges that can prevent them from starting and growing successful businesses and leading safe lives. They have limited access to finance due to long distances to formal financial institutions, collateral and documentation challenges, and distrust of formal financial services. And this prevents them from getting the capital they need to fund their businesses. They're also affected by harmful gender norms, which limit women's business success and leave them vulnerable to gender-based violence. And as a note, more than 27% of women in Ghana experience physical gender-based violence and 34% face sexual gender-based violence. At the same time, many women face many health emergencies like malaria and COVID-19, as well as adverse impacts of drought and climate change. Local organizations in Ghana have been working to address these problems for decades, but the services they provide are often unsustainable because their community volunteers rely on donor funding. At the same time, no single organization is addressing the full range of challenges that women face. To address these problems, Grameen is taking a new approach that combines the power of our women's digital financial services agent networks with integrated women's economic empowerment services. And this is going to create sustainable solutions that address the range of financial, business, gender, and GBV challenges that prevent women from improving their livelihoods. The program is called Women Entrepreneurs in Northern Ghana Gain Access to Integrated Services, or WeGain for short. WeGain is a project of the global US Department of State-funded Women and Girls Empowered Program, or WAGE for short. And WAGE is a collaboration of American Bar Association Rule of Law Initiative, Grameen Foundation, SIPE, and Search for Common Ground, and works to advance women's status through integrated women's economic empowerment, women's peace and security, and gender-based violence programming. And back to you, Bobby.
Great. Thank you, Bindi, for doing such a great job setting us up for this conversation. So now we're going to turn our attention to our esteemed colleagues who have joined us from Ghana today. Just a reminder to everyone that if you have any questions throughout these presentations, please place that in the Q&A button and we'll answer those after the panel discussion that we're about to have. So now I'd like to turn this over to my colleague, Alfred Yaboa, who is our regional director for Africa, as he's going to facilitate the conversation and introduce our colleagues from Ghana. So Alfred, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby and Bindi. So this new program in Ghana, WeGain, is really inspired by our Mistress India program and works with 3 local civil society organization partners to onboard 90 of their existing community volunteers as digital financial services plus agents offering a range of financial services to the women entrepreneurs in their communities. Each agent is also equipped with a mobile tablet and digital learning platform so that they can deliver a range of non-financial business skills, financial education, and health training tips to the same women entrepreneurs they reach alongside the digital financial services. Finally, the agent will also be trained to deliver referrals to gender-based violence services for women who are victims of gender-based violence. Through the digital financial services, agents bring access to savings, credit, and other services closer to women in their communities. At the same time, agents earn income from their digital financial services work, and this enhances the sustainability of their work. Through the non-financial training and gender-based violence referral services, the agents address the knowledge, skills, and gender-based violence gaps that prevent many women in Northern Ghana from leading productive and safe lives. We will hear about each of the local partners WeGain is working with, the importance of their work to alleviating poverty in their communities, and how they will contribute to the success of the WeGain project. Our first panelist is Awal Ahmed Kariama, the Executive Director of Rural Initiatives for Self-Empowerment, RISE Ghana for short. Welcome, Awal, and happy to have you here. Our next panelist is the Executive Director of HealthKeepers Network, Dr. Daniel Mensah. Doc, glad you are able to join us.
Thank you very much, Alfred.
Good. Then we have Abdallah Mohammed with the Ghana Developing Communities Association, GDC. Abdallah is the technical advisor for food security, livelihoods, and business development at GDC. He's joining us today from the northern region of Ghana. Also speaking today as our guests is Ruth Badu. Ruth is a senior manager for mobile financial services, and she works in the operations and service delivery unit of the Mobile Money Limited, which is a registered subsidiary of MTN Ghana, one of the market leaders in the increasingly competitive mobile communication industries in Ghana. Thank you, Ruth, for your time today to share some thoughts about how MTN, Grameen, and other local partners are scaling digital financial services outreach, especially to rural communities, to economically empower women entrepreneurs. Our last panelist for today is my colleague, Francis Arthur, a project lead with Grameen Foundation. And all our panelists for today's webinar are based in Ghana. I remind all speakers to please turn on your videos and to mute when you are not speaking. Thank you. Awal, I will start with you. Your organization, RISE Ghana, is based in the northern region of Ghana and has roots in right-based approaches, such as the goal to end child marriage and increase women's economic empowerment. Awal, in your experience, what do you see as the changing dynamics of poverty in the northern region of Ghana? And can you also tell us about the role you'll be playing within the WeGain projects and how you see these projects particularly responding to households living in poverty today? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfred. And good morning to the team from America and other places. And good afternoon to the team in most parts of Africa. It's a great opportunity to be part of this important webinar and to talk about International Day for Poverty Eradication. For us at RISE Ghana, we are terribly concerned about the fact that poverty in northern Ghana has sadly been increasing, and the inequality has been widening, and it's been exacerbated over the years. Unfortunately, there are certain trends that tend to reinforce this negative situation. First of all, is the shrinking meritocracy. We say shrinking meritocracy in that access to opportunities, access to jobs, access to resources have unfortunately in recent times been captured by political parties, in that people are supposed to pay allegiance to a political party or have connections. There is elite capture, there is political party capture, and there is ethnic capture in terms of access to opportunities and resources. And so this has unfortunately exacerbated poverty over the years. The other sad reality is the fact that our approach to fighting poverty has unfortunately not been evidence-informed, and in most cases are not fit for purpose. That is why we at Rise Ghana are excited about this innovative project, the We Gain project, as it seeks to go beyond just economic empowerment to address certain salient and structural issues and dynamics that tend to perpetuate poverty, especially among women. The other thing is about the fact that poverty over the years, the menace of unpaid care work, which tends to keep women at poverty at bay, has unfortunately not been paid adequate attention to. But for us, that is where we need to focus our attention. If we want to really shift the power, women should be able to have other work to do and not unpaid care work, taking care of people at the household without any economic benefits to it. It shouldn't be limited. That long-held belief that women belong to the kitchen and to take care of household members without necessarily engaging in economic opportunity has been the bane of women in northern Ghana, and it has limited most women and girls from achieving their full potential. So we are also excited about the fact that the We Gain project challenges these stereotypes, shifts the power, and pushes the very people who hold these long-held beliefs together to change their mindset, change their paradigms, and create a sustainable space for women to be able to achieve their full potential. The other thing is about the fact that when you look at inequality, we tend to focus on minority. When we talk about minority or marginalized groups, we tend to focus on persons with disability or ethnic minorities. We have not had specific programs to address intra and inter inequalities. Within people, there are people with different levels of vulnerabilities, and we need programs that will be able to address these different and widening vulnerabilities between and among people. And so the model of the We Gain project, with our knowledge on the ground in terms of community rapport, the use of BCC and other methods, we're able to mobilize and address the key critical issues that tend to undermine the participation of women and their economic empowerment. And our role in the project mainly would be that we want to upscale the already innovative behavior change communication strategies we use in terms of the use of theater, in terms of use of our vibrant agent networks. We have community volunteers who are in touch with the people, who understand the customs, who are able to navigate the necessary nuances. We want to be able to use that, the availability and the rights-based approach, which we use as an entry point to be able to ensure that there's increasing participation of women, and then there is sustained buy-in among power holders who tend to perpetuate this poverty. We also looking at promoting best practices and co-creating context-specific GBV responses. We cannot impose gender-based response issues, gender-based violence response issues from, say, the Asias or the America into certain Ghanaian contexts. Even within Ghana, there are several contexts of the situation. So we want to promote best practices by co-creating with local communities, with other stakeholders, the other We Gain partners, and then also we want to ensure that there is sustainable buy-in for these co-created approaches. And then we want to localize and institutionalize gender and social inclusion efforts. We are institutionalizing also diversity and safeguarding issues, so that within households, within communities, and within all the structures of our communities, safeguarding issues of gender and social inclusion, issues of diversity are seen as a core part of our programming, a core part of our intervention, a core part of the community dialogue, so that on a sustained basis, women can be able to exercise their agency, women can be able to exercise their economic empowerment, women can be able to stand up and speak against gender-based violence.
Yeah, well, I think that is very helpful, especially providing that context for the problem that we are solving for. And what I hear you say is that the game project will be a game changer in a way that it will challenge and demystify, especially long-held, negative gender norms around women economic empowerment, and also financially include more rural women entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for your response. I will now move to Dr. Mensah. Your organization, HealthKeepers Network, is part family to Grameen. You started as a project at Freedom from Hunger, which merged with Grameen in 2016. HealthKeepers Network was spun off as a social enterprise that seeks to promote women's entrepreneurship through microfranchising. The entrepreneurs supported by your organization are called HealthKeepers, and they provide health products and services across Ghana. Can you briefly, maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, share how HealthKeepers Network has evolved and what you have seen or evaluated as the impact of your work at both the entrepreneurial level and the community level? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfred, and thank you all for having me on this program. Yes, HealthKeeper Network has continually evolved to stay relevant since 2006. That's about 15 years ago when it was first initiated. However, the organization has maintained its focus on women and children, especially those in the hard-to-reach and unserved communities. It also maintained its focus on health promotion and preventive healthcare, and also the use of last-mile assurance and community-based approaches. HealthKeeper Network evolution came mainly through the need to improve on our operational efficiencies, the need to ensure growth and sustainability, and also through the various collaborations, the learnings that we have learned, and the adaptations that we made, and also meeting the needs and requirements of our donors. I want to say, for example, that our community-based agents initially were only women, but now we've expanded to include men and the youth, both the youth in school and the youth out of school. In terms of product that we carry, we have expanded our products reach to include products like maternal and newborn child health products, especially family planning, community-based family planning programming.
Okay, we seem to be losing you, Dr. Mensah. I think we'll move to our next panelist, which is one of the other local civil society partners that we are working with.
In terms of impact, I would say that at the HealthKeeper level, we've helped to create healthy families and also provided additional sources of income to improve livelihood. And also these HealthKeepers have gained recognition in the various communities that they are working. At the community level, I would say that HealthKeeper Network has contributed to enhanced access to affordable and quality health protection products and services, and also promoted healthy communities and protected health of household income earners. Thank you, Alfred.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Mensah. And then great to know about the wonderful impact of your work in Ghana. And then the We Gain project, as we know, will add digital financial services to what the HealthKeepers already do. So what do you see as the potential benefit with this value addition? So in just about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Many of the HealthKeepers and the community members in which we are working, they are unbanked. And I must say that in 2015, HK, with support from Net Hope Solutions, implemented a mobile money payment project in Ghana under the team journey from cash to digital payment. One of our aim was to progress our agents to become mobile money agents. So for us at HealthKeepers Network, this is a dream come true. Adding Momo to the existing micro business for health, we believe will bring them into financial inclusions, and they in turn would expand financial inclusion to their other women in their communities. It will also offer them opportunity to expand their businesses and even improve their access to health and gender-based violence services, indeed, which is a key feature of this program. I should also say that it stands the opportunity to improve safety and security in their handling of cash. So I think these are some of the key areas. I also see it as promoting savings among the health keepers. Thank you, Alfred.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful and good to know. So there is one other local civil society partner that we are working with, which is the Ghana Developing Communities Association, GDCA. This organization has been doing community development across the northern regions of Ghana for more than 35 years, and they have had access to quality education and livelihoods strengthening as two strategic programs, as well as working to strengthen other community-based organizations. Abdallah Mohammed, can you tell us a bit more about GDCA and how your work has evolved over 3.5 decades? And it will be helpful if you can also tell us about the role you will be playing in the Regain project. Thank you, Abdallah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fred, and thanks to everyone for having me. Ghana Developing Communities Association exists to empower the citizens of deprived communities and the socially excluded in Ghana to work to achieve political, social, and economic development and engage in sound environmental practices for sustainable living. The organization envisions an empowered and happy society in harmony with the environment. The Ghana Developing Community Association, which was formerly known as Ghanaian Danish Community Association, was established and started in 1980 as a result of cooperation with its Danish counterpart, that is the Ghana Venskap, based on friendship. The first Ghanaian supporter project, that is the Danish Community Project, was made in 1986, following years of pioneering visits by members of GV, that's the Ghana Venskap, to Ghana, and also with consultation with government agencies, the local people, and the traditional authorities. The cooperation between Ghana Development Community Association and Ghana Venskap brought in its wake several subsidiary organizations. And some of these subsidiary organizations include the Link Family Center, the Family Radio, Family Pond, School for Life. We have the Changing Life in Innovative Partnership, Community-Based Organization Empowerment, and also the Ghana Development Communities Microcredit Scheme. And all the subsidiary organizations are providing different interventions to communities. The organizations work in 4 key areas, and these areas include, we have the civil society strengthening and participatory local governance. We have improved livelihoods, food and water security, environment and climate change adaptation. The organization also works in inclusive access to quality education, and lastly, organizational development and strategic position and engagement. The organization over the past 3 decades has worked with deprived communities in over 20 districts in Ghana, and some of the districts include Savlego, Karga, Kumbongo, Nyang, East Gonja, Boku, among others. GDCA in the past decades has strengthened about 240 community-based organizations who are now able to identify community issues and engage duty bearers in addressing them. The organization has also provided complementary basic education for over 350,000 out-of-school children since 1995, and has influenced the Ghana government to adopt and also to implement the complementary basic education as a national policy.
Yeah, Sorry to cut you, Abdallah, but I think that this stresses the point that I made earlier, that GDC has been doing some wonderful work, especially when it comes to quality education and livelihood strengthening program. So if you are able to tell us specifically the role that you'll be playing on the WeGame program, that would be very useful at this point. Thank you.
Yes, mainly, thank you. Mainly the role that GDC will play in the WeGame project with our decades of experience have to do with supporting on-ground implementation of the project, and also support the project's women economic empowerment barriers and opportunities assessment, and also recruit 30 female mobile money agents, and support them to reach and deliver integrated services to at least 100 women entrepreneurs in the communities that they are working with. And we'll also support in training materials and also participate in the development of health and business teams and roll out training programs, women economic empowerment training for the female agents. Thank you.
Excellent response, Abdallah. We very much all look forward to seeing how GDCA can support our efforts, especially to bundle digital financial services delivery with sustained strategies to empower the rural poor woman and her household. Thank you. Ruth, you work with MTN Mobile Money Limited. It is emerging that mobile phones are having a profound impact on work worldwide to end poverty. MTN is the largest digital financial service provider in Africa, and one of the largest and most successful companies in Africa altogether. MTN, we also know, provides phone digital financial services and digital payment services to over 17 million people throughout Ghana. Can you tell us why MTN Ghana is so interested in activating female users, and we're interested in the Wage Ghana female agent idea specifically? In your response, it will be interesting to also segue into those barriers you consider to women's use of digital financial services, and how do female agents help you to reach more female users? Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred, and good afternoon, good morning to everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this important program commemorating this very important activity. So at MTN and Mobile Money Limited, we're very excited to be part of this program. It's established globally that there's a gender gap between male and female in terms of financial inclusion, and all over the world, we have seen that so many females who own businesses, but the financial sector is one of the areas that we realize that many women do not venture into. And so since 2012, Mobile Money has sought to collaborate with a lot of international agencies to help address various aspects of the gender gap in financial inclusion. And from our perspective, looking at the kind of barriers that we have seen so far, first of all, we've identified that there's lack of strategies to target women specifically. If you look around the landscape, a lot of operators run generic initiatives across gender groups. And because there's already an existing gap, it's going to be very difficult if we don't target specific initiatives to close this gap. Again, one of the barriers we have identified is that some of the sign-up or startup requirements for for businesses are quite stringent. And we know that a lot of females have businesses which are informal. So sometimes they are not able to meet the specific requirements that operators actually ask them to provide. Again, one of the barriers that we see is financial and technology literacy. Research has shown that there are certain categories of female generally who are quite averse when it comes to adopting new technologies or new concepts in general. So it takes a bit more effort to try and get them on board and get them to actually enroll. So for us, we believe that women are strongly influenced by word of mouth testimonials from other women, because there's that established trust relationship between them in the societies or the communities or wherever they find themselves. And also previous research indicates that female customers are more akin to visiting other female agents, because sometimes the agents are in the communities, and when they visit them and when they go to these areas, they build certain rapports and they discuss certain things that are peculiar to the gender, the female gender. So it's more easy for them to, go to these female agents to perform transactions. And overall, we believe that once we get a good number of women on board, they will also serve as influencers in their communities. And by extension, we can leverage on the network effects to get more people on board. So from our perspective, this is how we are looking at reaching more females with this specific project. Thank you, Alfred.
Excellent, Ruth. So what I can infer based on what I understand you say is that most women, especially in the rural communities, will prefer engaging with a female digital financial service agent, for instance, and that they feel more comfortable when completing transactions with female agents because they perceive them to be, let's say, more patient, understanding, and trustworthy. Great contribution, Ruth. Thank you so much. Francis, I now come to you. You lead local coordination for WeGain project in Ghana. We are interested in learning why Grameen chose the approach of integrating its female digital financial service agent approach, especially with women economic empowerment services. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alfred. And I do acknowledge the presence of everyone and warm greetings. So Grameen's integrated approach to solving the project issues as enumerated by previous speakers proves to be more prudent strategy to addressing the core of poverty as we focus on addressing issues of economic and social that women in Northern Ghana face. So with this approach, women economic issues women economic solutions or economic solutions which evolves around the digital financial services tries to provide financial and business enabling products and services to these women groups who are disadvantaged, whilst at the same time targeting the social issues by delivering the economic empowerment services such as the gender-based violence and referrals and support solutions, training, health information, and any other information that are relevant to support the business of women entrepreneurs. So this approach, these two focal pillars form the core of the WeGain project. And as a project, we are ready to share more learnings on the potency of this approach in other similar engagements. Thank you, Alfred.
Yeah, thank you, Francis, for the response, and especially highlighting Grameen's two-way solution of integrating digital financial services with capacity building efforts, especially for rural entrepreneurs in Ghana. Thank you so much. I would like to now do a round robin and then ask each of you to answer the same question. I will start with Francis, Awal, Dr. Mensa Abdallah, and then we will end with Ruth. And we will see who is able to do this in less than a minute. So this is a challenge to our panelists. And the question is, what impact do you most hope to see from the WeGain projects? And what does success look like to you? I repeat. What impact do you most hope to see from the WeGain program? And what does success look like to you? So I'll start with Francis.
All right, so thank you once again, Alfred. I see impact from the positive multiplier effect from our 90 female agent network that the project will be creating. And sustaining this voluntary work of this CSO agent by supporting them to establish digital financial services micro enterprise is a surest way for reliable service delivery, which will create opportunity for women entrepreneurs within the Northern Zone to have access to a wide range of both financial and non-financial services, which serves as a catalyst to building their personal and business growth and resilience. Thank you, Alfred.
Excellent. I think you did it. So we now move to Awal.
Thank you very much, Alfred. For us, success means a couple of things. One, the most important thing is that women, particularly survivors of gender-based violence, have sustainable hope that they can go to a place and seek redress and information about their bodies and their sexuality. Two, long-held negative norms that women cannot own or operate their own business is challenged and demystified on a sustainable and long-term basis. Number 3, that potential perpetrators of gender-based violence and perpetrators of gender-based violence would have a strong message and perpetual fear that if they engage in any form of sexual and gender-based violence against women, there are systems in processes, there are community agents, 90 of them trained by this project, willing to support potential survivors or victims of gender-based violence to seek the redress they need. And the 4th success criteria for us is where government and other people engaged in poverty reduction programming would have a model from the We Gain project as a stop-off point to learn and to implement and replicate in their respective response and programming. Thank you.
Excellent. Over to you, Dr. Mensah.
Well, for me, success will simply mean seeing a seamless and full integration of the health protection product that we have with the mobile money payment financial services, and also it beginning to generate additional source of income for the agent that we have. In terms of impact, I want to see a digital financial solution that directly benefits all the people within the catchment area of the people that our agent will serve. And also I want to see a healthy, empowered HealthKeepers working in a zero gender-based violence environment. Thank you.
Wonderful. Health will always remain a priority. Abdallah, over to you.
Thank you, Alfred. For us in GDCA, the project is successful when there is a reduced poverty among women in the community. That is, increased household income of the agents, resilience, business growth, and improved entrepreneurial skills of women in the community, increasing the financial independence of the most vulnerable women in the community. Again, when there is a drastic reduction in gender-based violence cases as a result of women being able to report issues of gender-based violence to the appropriate courtesies. And lastly, when there is harmony in the household and community as a result of support from the male spouses and community leaders for women to have greater independence to engage in enterprises that arise or that promote their living conditions. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm happy you mentioned the specific male engagement strategies as part of this program, because it's about gender and not only about women. Thank you. Now, Ruth, the boy is in your court.
So from our point of view, we'll deem this program as a success if we are able to, first of all, improve the livelihood of the selected participants and also ensure that the households have adequate income to take care of their basic needs. And also it's important for them to have some surplus to save and invest for future. Also, we hope that this program can be extended, the model can be extended to a wider group so as to produce a significant social and economic impact. And overall, our goal is to help to reduce the gender gap and also support with the other partners for the other goals that they have stated about protection of women and all of the other things that we're hoping to achieve. So for us, we're excited to be on board, and this is what success will look like for us. Thank you.
Excellent. And we are all happy to be collaborating with the private sector player like MTN Ghana, the Mobile Money Limited. So many thanks to our guests and panelists for sharing your thoughts and also for your collaboration on the We Gain project in Ghana. Over to you, Bobby, for any questions that our cherished audience may have. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Alfred, for doing such a fantastic job facilitating this conversation, and to all of our panelists. I hope everyone here that's joining today can really see the excitement that many of us have having the opportunity to work with such an esteemed group of people. I mean, we've got, experts in economic strengthening and gender-based violence and health and mobile money and women's economic empowerment strategies kind of pulling all this together. And so we're just constantly learning from this fantastic group of people, and really feel confident that the goals that we've set out for ourselves will be achieved with this level of commitment and expertise and experience. So thank you to all of you who've joined. So we do have time for a few questions and answers. And I know one of them that came in that we can start out with right now as a question to, I think, Ruth, maybe I'll let you answer, is just kind of a question about the types of mobile money services that are being provided on the MTN platform right now. Like, what sort of services can women access with digital financial services right now?
We have a host of services, but to summarize the relevant ones for this conversation, we have savings products, we have insurance, we have pension, we also have some investment products for treasury bills. We also have credit services for microloans, and we're able to sell airtime, pay bills on the platform, plus a host of other services. But in summary, these are the key services or products for the relevant for this conversation. And we're hoping that apart from the agents just onboarding and getting some commissions out and being able to get some fund money out of it, we'll also be able to get them to get entrenched in other services, which were hitherto seen as the white collar type of service, like savings and insurance and all of those things, because we realize that some of these women are not able to go into the formal banking services. So these services have been put on the mobile phone to afford them the opportunity to actually self-onboard. Most of the services are self-onboard, so they are able to do it wherever they are without having to visit any brick and mortar institution.
Great, thank you. And while you were speaking earlier, you had talked a little bit, and I think on around vulnerabilities in your region, and you had mentioned something about, we tend to focus on people with disabilities, and you mentioned something else, but you had referenced intra and inter vulnerabilities, and I'm just curious if you can kind of expand on what you mean by that.
Yes, so thank you very much, Bindi, for your question. Yes, I had indeed mentioned intra and intra vulnerability. And what I meant is we can have the category and the tendency of classifying people as the urban poor, the rural poor. But within these structures of rural poor, urban poor, there are people who are the poorest of the poorest. There are people who have access to certain resources. There are people who have access to very few resources. There are people with limited opportunities. When they actually come to even do census, in terms of counting, they don't really count them because of the ethnicity they belong is even facing out. So when you look at structuring them, they get missing because they are not even identified appropriately based on our existing systems of ranking and identifying people. And so that is why I meant we need to go deeper and look at the local dynamics of and demographics of the area, and to really target and do proper targeting of the poorest of the poor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I think one extra question that we probably have time for is a question about the barriers faced by women and how we think agents will help overcome them. So we've talked a lot about the agents themselves and kind of the opportunity we think many of them have. I'm just curious if any one of you want to respond to the question of the barriers that women in the community face and how we see agents helping them overcome that. Like what do we see as their real role in the community?
So I will quickly speak about the project strategy of the onboarding of the agents, as well as the safeguarding and the community entry and the anti-terrorism screening that has been done. All these structures have ensured that there is buy-in and there is credibility and legitimacy with the agents. And with this credibility and legitimacy with the agents, and the fact that the community entries has been properly done to already anticipate and diffuse male opposition, it will go a strong way to increase access and reduce the barriers. Thank you.
Great. And do any of the other panelists want to also respond to that question?
Yeah, so Francis, Bobby, thank you. I will look at from the perspective of we're trying to engage other critical statutory bodies, such as the Department of Social Welfare, DOFSU, who are keenly related in the delivery of non-financial services for the women entrepreneurs within the various communities. So we've been able to get these stakeholders to have the buy-in, and hence the role that an agent can play in terms of supporting the referral linkages for victims of gender-based violence. So for me, this is a critical thing that since we have the statutory agency having supporting this agent, then it means that they will be able to well positioned to deliver the right services to their clients within the various communities. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Francis. So I know that we are tight on time now, and because we'd like to leave you all with some final comments from our CEO and President, Steve Hollingworth, I will turn it over to him to wrap us up.
Bobby, thank you so much. And, thanks to all the Grameen team far and wide, and particularly thanks to Daniel, Ruth, Awal Ahmed, and Abdullah. Thank you so much for your time today and your partnership in this very, very important program. We're very focused on what is happening with our Grameen Community Agent approach. They are critical really to bringing financial services, to bringing ways that poor women and poor communities can engage more equitably in the market. They're critical for providing information, as you're seeing here now, and expertise. And they're really also critical in being a conduit that connects particularly other poor women to what's happening with the digital economy. So that's our focus. We're very proud of the fact that over the past years, we've developed and supported in excess of 130,000 community agents across the globe, reaching nearly 14 million community members. And we're on target now by 2025 to reach 25 million community members through this approach. So we're very excited about this program in Ghana. One of the things I want to mention on this day that we're observing, the possibility that we can eradicate poverty is that, over the past 25 or to 30 years, we've seen significant global progress in addressing global poverty. The numbers have stabilized. The numbers of abject poor who have graduated into a less poor category has improved. But frankly, this global pandemic and the economic consequences of it is sliding us all backwards. And this is not the time, to be complacent. It's really the time to continue to use whatever partnerships, whatever opportunities, technologies that we have to redouble our efforts to address poverty, to improve food security for the rural poor in particular, and to empower women. This is really a critical time to do that. We view the community agent strategy as a way of connecting the poor to what's happening in the digital economy. And hopefully now you have a great example of how not only financial services, but also health, information that supports women who are victims of domestic violence, gender-based violence. All of these things can be provided, through what's happening with the agents and their links to the broader world through technology. So we're very committed to continuing to address these problems, the problems of poverty, the problems of lack of empowerment and food security. And we're very excited about the new tools that are allowing us to do that. We're very excited about the partnerships that we enjoy. As you can see, all of us working together, addressing these issues essentially helps us to overcome these very, very significant barriers that keep the poor down, that keep women down. And we see this strategy of the community agent networks linking poor women and poor rural communities to what's happening in the digital world for financial services, information, and other services as being very, very critical to overcoming all the constraints and barriers that the poor among us face. So I want to thank my colleagues at Grameen Foundation. Thank you so much to all the partnerships, all the partners that we enjoy in Northern Ghana. We look forward to life returning to normal and us being able to come and see the work in person. But I think all of you have made it very vivid for us today in your descriptions. Thank you so much. And I would also like to thank, of course, the folks who joined the call. And please, if you're able to reach out to Grameen, if you're able to make a gift, there's the details for how you can link to that. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.